The silence before the storm. The Terran embassy stood in complete darkness. Dust covered every surface. Cobwebs hung from the ceiling like ghostly curtains. For 300 cycles, no human had walked these halls. The galaxy had moved on. In the grand chamber of the Galactic Council, representatives from 1,000 species gathered. Today was special. Today, they would officially declare humanity extinct. Ambassador Vorin of the Krellan Empire stood tall. His blue skin gleamed under the lights. "The matter is simple," he announced. "Earth is silent. All human colonies are abandoned. The void anomaly took them 30 years ago. They are gone." The council members nodded. Some looked sad. Others looked relieved. Humans had been different. Too curious. Too stubborn. Too willing to explore dangerous places. When the void anomaly appeared near their space, everyone warned them to stay away, but humans never listened to warnings. Commander Zara, a Vaxian military leader, touched her data pad. "We have divided their colonies fairly. The mining worlds go to the Krellan. The agricultural planets go to the Sorphites. Everyone benefits." "Agreed," said the Sorphite representative, his 3 eyes blinking slowly. Just as Vorin raised his hand to make the declaration official, every screen in the council chamber exploded with light. An alarm screamed through the building. "What is happening?" Vorin shouted. A young technician ran into the chamber. His face was pale with fear. "Sirs, madams, energy readings, at the edge of known space." "What kind of readings?" Zara demanded. "Void signatures. Hundreds of them, no, thousands." The council chamber erupted in chaos. Species that never agreed on anything suddenly shouted together in fear. The void was death. Everyone knew this. Nothing survived the void. Vorin slammed his fist on the console. "Calm down. Show us the readings." The main screen flickered. Images appeared. At the very edge of their mapped space, reality itself seemed to tear open. Dark energy pulsed like a heartbeat. Then they saw it. A ship, small, damaged, burning as it flew. "Get me a channel," Zara ordered. "Now." The communication officer's hands shook as he worked. Static filled the speakers. Then a voice came through, weak, tired, but unmistakably human. This is Lieutenant Marcus Cole, Terran Defense Fleet." The entire council fell silent. 1,000 species held their breath, requesting emergency landing. "Station 7, Vorin leaned forward. His voice was barely a whisper. "Lieutenant Cole, this is the Galactic Council. We thought you were all dead." More static. Then Cole's voice returned, stronger now. "More urgent, no time. Explain." "They're coming." "Right behind us." "Who is coming?" Zara asked. "Lieutenant, who is behind you?" The damaged human ship twisted in space. They could see fires inside it through the broken hull. Cole's final transmission came through crystal clear. "Tell the council. Tell everyone. Humanity survived the void. We learned. We adapted. We became something new." And now a pause. In the background they heard alarms, explosions. "Now we're coming home. But we brought something with us. Something that's been chasing us for 30 years. Get every fleet to the border. Get every weapon online. Because if we fail..." The transmission cut off. For 10 seconds nobody moved. Nobody breathed. Then the sensors went crazy. "Ships!" The technician screamed. "Void signatures. Filling every scanner!" The main screen showed the impossible. Thousands upon thousands of energy readings. They appeared from nowhere, materializing from empty space like ghosts becoming real. But these were not small damaged ships. These were massive, dark. Their hulls seemed to absorb light itself. They moved in perfect formation, like a school of fish made from nightmares. "Those aren't human ships," Vorin whispered. "No," Zara agreed. Her forearms reached for weapons that weren't there. "Those are something else." Then behind the dark fleet, more signatures appeared. These were different, smaller, faster. And they were fighting. Human ships. Hundreds of them. Their weapons fired with technology the Council had never seen. Beams of pure void energy. Missiles that appeared and disappeared. Ships that moved through solid matter like swimming through water. "By the ancient stars," a Sorphite elder gasped. "What happened to them? What did the void do to humanity?" On every screen, the same message suddenly appeared. It was written in 1,000 languages simultaneously. The Council's translation systems struggled to keep up. But the message was simple. Humanity has returned. The void taught us. The void changed us. We are not the species you. Remember, we fought alone for 30 years. Now, the enemy comes to you. Prepare for war or prepare to die. Ambassador Vorin collapsed into his chair. His hands trembled as he pressed the emergency alert. Send word to every fleet, every station, every planet, he said quietly. Humanity isn't extinct. They're back. He looked at the dark ships on the screen, at the impossible human vessels fighting them, and they brought hell with them. Commander Zara stood at the window. In the distance, she could see the first flashes of battle, void energy lighting up the darkness of space like lightning in a storm. What did you find out there? She whispered to the empty air. What happened to you, humans? Behind her, the council descended into chaos. Species that had divided human worlds now realized those worlds might have owners again. Owners who had spent 30 years learning to survive the impossible. On the edge of known space, Lieutenant Cole's damaged ship finally reached Station 7. It crashed through the docking bay doors in a shower of sparks and metal. Emergency crews rushed forward. They pulled Cole from the wreckage. His uniform was burned. His face was scarred. But his eyes reflected light that shouldn't exist. Starlight from places beyond reality. A medic leaned over him. Lieutenant, what happened out there? Where have you been? Cole smiled. It wasn't a happy smile. It was the smile of someone who had seen too much, learned too much, survived too much. We went into the void, he said softly, and the void went into us. Then he passed out. Above the station, the battle continued. Human ships and dark vessels danced through space in a deadly ballet. The galaxy would never be the same. Humanity had returned, and they had brought war with them. What came back wasn't human. Station 7's medical bay was crowded with doctors and scientists. They all stared at Lieutenant Marcus Cole through the glass window. He was sleeping, but strange things were happening to his body. His wounds healed too fast. The burns on his arms disappeared in hours, not weeks, and his eyes, even when closed, seemed to glow softly in the dark. This is impossible, Dr. Mellon said. She was a Krellan physician with 50 years of experience. His cellular structure is changing, evolving. I've never seen anything like it. Commander Zara stood beside her. Is he still human? Dr. Mellon didn't answer immediately. She looked at the readings again. I don't know. Outside the station, more human ships arrived. Each one was different from the vessels the galaxy remembered. These ships were dark, sleek. They moved in ways that violated every law of physics. One ship simply appeared inside the docking bay. It didn't fly in. It didn't use doors. It just materialized, like stepping from one room into another. The station's security teams surrounded it immediately. Weapons raised, hearts pounding. The ship's door opened with a hiss. A woman stepped out. She wore a Terran uniform, but it looked wrong. The fabric seemed to shift and flow like liquid shadow. Her hair was white, though she looked young. And her eyes held the same impossible starlight as Cole's. I am Captain Sarah Chen, she said calmly. I'm here for my lieutenant. 50 weapons aimed at her chest. Stay where you are, a security officer shouted. Put your hands up. Sarah didn't move. She simply looked at them, not with anger, not with fear, with something else, something ancient and tired. You can't hurt me with those, she said quietly. We're beyond that now. One nervous guard fired his weapon. The energy bolt passed through Sarah like she was made of smoke. It hit the wall behind her and exploded. Sarah didn't even blink. The security team stepped back in horror. Take me to Cole, Sarah repeated. Please. 20 minutes later, she stood in the medical bay. Commander Zara and Ambassador Vorin had arrived to meet her. The entire Galactic Council wanted answers. What happened to you? Vorin demanded. What did the void do to humanity? Sarah looked at Cole through the glass. Her expression softened. It didn't do anything to us, she said. It taught us, changed us, made us into something that could survive. Survive what? Zara asked. Them, Sarah said simply. She touched the window. Images appeared in the glass like magic. They showed the dark ships, the enemy fleet. They're called the Devourers. They're older than your oldest records, older than most stars. The images shifted, showed battles, planets burning, civilizations falling. 30 years ago they found Earth, Sarah continued. They attacked without warning. We fought back, but our weapons were useless, so we did the only thing we could do. What? Vorin whispered. We ran into the void. The one place they couldn't immediately follow. Zara's eyes widened. The void anomaly. You went in on purpose? Sarah nodded. It was supposed to be temporary, a hiding place. But the void isn't empty. It's alive, aware, and it was hungry. She turned to face them. 9 billion humans went into the void. Only 2 billion came out. The void took the rest. Not killed them, absorbed them, changed them, used them to teach the survivors. Dr. Mellon gasped. That's horrible. Yes, Sarah agreed. But it worked. Those who survived learned to exist between reality and non-reality. We learned to move like the void moves, to think like it thinks, and we learned to fight the devourers. Why didn't you come back sooner? Vorin asked. Why stay away for 30 years? Sarah's face hardened. Because the devourers were waiting. Every time we tried to leave, they attacked. So we fought them. In the void, in the spaces between spaces. We fought them so they wouldn't come here. She pointed at the ceiling. But they're patient. They waited for us to make a mistake. And 3 days ago we did. One of our scout ships got through. Lieutenant Cole. The devourers followed him. Alarms suddenly blared throughout the station. A technician burst into the room. Sirs, the devourer fleet is moving. They're heading toward the inner colonies. Zara grabbed her communicator. All fleets, battle formation. Prepare to engage. No! Sarah shouted. Your weapons won't work. You'll all die. Then what do we do? Vorin demanded. Sarah took a deep breath. You let us help. You let humanity fight beside you. But there's a cost. What cost? Zara asked. To fight the void, you must learn from the void, Sarah said. Some of your people must volunteer, must go through what we went through, must change like we changed. The room fell silent. You're asking us to become like you, Dr. Mellon said. To stop being ourselves. I'm asking you to evolve or die, Sarah replied. The choice is yours. On the main view screen, they watched the Devourer fleet approach. Thousands of dark ships, moving like hungry shadows. The Galactic Defense Fleet moved to intercept. Hundreds of ships from dozens of species. The pride of 1,000 worlds. They fired everything they had. Energy weapons, missiles, quantum torpedoes, gravitational disruptors. The Devourers didn't even slow down. The weapons passed through their ships like shooting at ghosts. Then the Devourers fired back. Dark beams of anti-light struck the galactic fleet. Where they hit, ships simply ceased to exist. Not exploded, not destroyed. They just stopped being real. In 30 seconds, the galaxy lost 200 ships. By the stars, Vorin whispered. We're helpless. Sarah walked to the window. Behind her, Cole was waking up. His eyes opened, glowing with void light. Not helpless, Sarah said. Not if you trust us. Not if you're willing to pay the price. She turned to face the council members. Call for volunteers. People willing to change, to become something new. We'll train them. Fast, the way the void trained us. And if they can't handle it? Zara asked. If they break like your 9 billion? Sarah's face showed pain. Real human pain. Then they break. But at least they'll die fighting. At least they'll die trying to save their people. Another alarm. More ships disappearing from the sensors. Vorin made a decision. He pressed his communicator. Send a galaxy-wide broadcast. We need volunteers. People willing to undergo transformation. To learn to fight an enemy we cannot defeat alone. He looked at Sarah. How many do you need? As many as you can give me, Sarah said. And pray to whatever gods you have that it's enough. Behind her, Cole stood up. The medical equipment fell away. He walked through the glass door like it wasn't there. Captain, he said. His voice sounded hollow, empty. The Devourer mothership is coming. I know, Sarah replied. It's not like the others, Cole continued. It's bigger, much bigger. On every screen in the station, space itself began to tear open. A massive void signature appeared. It grew larger, and larger, and larger. The mothership emerged. It was the size of a moon. Its hull was darker than the void itself, and from its center, something was opening. Something that made even Sarah Chen, survivor of the void, take a step back in fear. What is that? Zara whispered. Sarah's voice was barely audible. That's what we've been running from. That's what we were hoping you'd never have to see. The thing inside the mothership began to wake up, and the galaxy held its breath. The enemy the galaxy forgot. The thing inside the Devourer mothership was not a machine. It was not a weapon. It was alive. Through every telescope and scanner in the galaxy, billions of beings watched in horror as it emerged. It looked like a massive eye made of darkness and stars. But it wasn't an eye. It was a mouth, and it was hungry. "Void, preserve us," Ambassador Vorin whispered. His blue skin turned pale. "What is that thing?" Captain Sarah Chen stood frozen. For the first time since arriving, she looked truly afraid. "That's a Void Eater, the oldest of the Devourers. We thought they were all dead. We thought we killed the last one." "You fought those things?" Commander Zara couldn't believe it. "And survived?" "Barely," Lieutenant Cole said. He stood beside Sarah now, his eyes glowing with void light. "It took us 15 years to kill one, and we lost 3 billion people doing it." The Void Eater opened wider. Space itself bent around it. Stars in the distance flickered and died as it consumed their light from across the void. On the main screen, they watched as an entire moon simply vanished, pulled into the creature's mouth. "Gone in seconds, we need to evacuate," Vorin said urgently. "Every colony, every station. We need to run." "Run where?" Sarah asked. "That thing can swallow solar systems. There's nowhere in this galaxy it can't reach." Dr. Mellin burst into the command center. Her face was covered in sweat. "Captain Chen, the first volunteers are here." 3,000 of them, from dozens of species. Sarah turned to look. Through the window, she saw them. Young soldiers, old scientists, people of every race and color, all willing to change, all willing to fight. 3,000, Sarah said quietly. "Against that." She pointed at the Void Eater. "It's not enough, is it?" Zara asked. "No," Sarah admitted. "But it's a start." She walked to the communication panel. "This is Captain Sarah Chen to all human vessels. Initiate Operation Last Light. We're going in." Around the station, 30 human ships materialized from nothing. They were small compared to the Devourer fleet, tiny compared to the Void Eater, but they didn't run. They charged straight toward the monster. "What are they doing?" Vorin shouted. "That's suicide." "No," Cole said. "That's buying time." The human ships moved in ways that made no sense. They flickered in and out of reality. They dodged through solid Devourer vessels like ghosts. Their weapons fired beams of pure void energy, and for the first time the Devourers took damage. Dark ships exploded. Others twisted and collapsed. The human fleet was small, but they knew how to hurt the enemy. The Void Eater roared. The sound didn't travel through space. It traveled through minds. Every being in the station grabbed their heads in pain. "Get those volunteers to the training chambers," Sarah commanded. "Now!" "We don't have much time." Zara grabbed her arm. "What kind of training? What are you going to do to them?" Sarah looked at her with those impossible eyes. "I'm going to throw them into the void, the same way we were thrown, and I'm going to pray they come back sane." "You're going to kill them," Dr. Mellin protested. "Some of them, yes," Sarah said honestly. "Maybe half, maybe more, but the ones who survive will be able to fight. And right now, that's all that matters." She turned to Cole. "Take the first group. Start with the soldiers. They're trained to handle trauma." Cole nodded and left. Vorin stepped forward. "Captain Chen, I need to understand. What exactly happened to humanity in the void? What did it do to you?" Sarah was quiet for a moment. Then she spoke. "The void is not empty space. It's the space between spaces, the gap between one reality and another. When we entered it, we were solid, real. The void didn't like that." She held up her hand. It flickered. For a second, they could see through it. It tried to make us like itself. Not solid, not real, just possibility. Most people couldn't handle it. Their minds broke. Their bodies dissolved. But some of us, we adapted. We learned to exist in both states, real and unreal at the same time. "And the Devourers?" Zara asked. "They can do this too?" "They're from the void," Sarah explained. "They're native to it. They've existed there for millions of years, but they want to come here, to our reality, to consume everything solid and real." On the screen, 2 more human ships vanished. "Consumed by the Void Eater, why?" Vorin asked. "Why do they want to destroy us?" "Because we're food," Sarah said simply. "Reality is food to them. Matter, energy, life. They eat it all. They've destroyed 1,000 galaxies before ours, and they'll destroy 1,000 more after." A message came through. Cole's voice strained with effort. "Captain, we're ready. First group is in the void chamber." Sarah closed her eyes. "Do it." Through the station's sensors, they felt it. A small tear in reality, a miniature void created inside a reinforced chamber. And inside that chamber, 300 volunteers. The screaming started immediately. Dr. Mellin ran toward the chamber. Zara held her back. Don't. If you open that door, the void will escape. We have to wait. They waited 5 minutes. It felt like 5 hours. The screaming stopped. The void chamber opened. 127 people walked out. Their eyes glowed. Their skin shimmered. They moved like Sarah and Cole moved. Between moments. Between breaths. 173 didn't walk out at all. Dr. Mellin fell to her knees. This is murder. This is war, Sarah interrupted. Her voice was hard, cold. This is what survival costs. Do you think we wanted this? Do you think we enjoyed watching billions of our people die? She knelt beside the doctor. Every person who walks out of that chamber can save thousands, maybe millions. The math is cruel, but it's simple. Another message came through. A young Vaxian warrior, her forearms trembling, her eyes now glowing with void light. Captain Chen, I can feel it. I can feel the void. I can feel everything. Good, Sarah said. That means it worked. Report to Commander Cole for combat training. She stood and faced the council members. We need to do this 19 more times, fast, before the Void Eater reaches the inner colonies. We need another way, Vorin pleaded. There has to be another option. Sarah pointed at the screen. The Void Eater had consumed 3 more moons. It was moving faster now, hungrier. That thing will reach the populated worlds in 48 hours, she said. By then, I need an army of 10,000 void-touched warriors, or we all die. Every species, every world, everything. And if we give you these warriors? Zara asked. If we pay this horrible price? Can you actually stop that thing? Sarah didn't answer right away. She looked at the Void Eater, at the monster that had chased humanity for 30 years. I don't know, she finally admitted. But we stopped one before, with 3 billion people. Maybe we can stop this one with 10,000, if they're trained right, if they're strong enough. If, Vorin repeated bitterly. Yes, Sarah said. If, that's all I can offer you. A chance, a hope, but it's better than waiting here to die. Cole's voice came through again. Captain, the Void Eater just changed course. Everyone turned to the screen. The massive creature was turning. Slowly, its terrible mouth-eye focusing on something new. What's it looking at? Zara asked. A technician checked the readings. Her face went white. It's turning toward Earth. The room fell silent. Sarah's hands clenched into fists. Her voice dropped to a whisper. No, not Earth, not our home. Why Earth? Vorin asked. Why specifically target humanity's homeworld? Cole's voice was grim. Because it remembers us. It remembers we killed its brother. This isn't random. This is revenge. Outside, the Devourer fleet moved into formation, protecting their master, guiding it toward Earth. Sarah Chen stood tall. Her eyes blazed with void light and human fury. Send word to every volunteer, every person willing to change. Tell them we're moving to maximum training speed. Tell them some will die, but those who survive will save Earth. She walked to the window. In the distance, she could see her homeworld, the blue planet where humanity was born, where her ancestors lived and died for millions of years. Commander Zara, she said quietly. How long until the Void Eater reaches Earth? 46 hours, Zara replied. Then we have 45 hours to create an army, Sarah said. And 1 hour to save our home. She turned to face them all. Start the second group, and the third, and keep going until we have enough, whatever the cost. Vorin looked at the volunteers lining up outside the void chamber. Thousands of them, young and old, scared but determined. What have we become? He whispered. Sarah heard him. We've become what we need to be, what the universe needs us to be. She walked toward the void chamber. We've become survivors. Behind her, the Void Eater moved through space, consuming, destroying, coming for Earth. And humanity, changed by the void, prepared to fight the oldest enemy in the universe. The price of survival, 42 hours remained. Station 7 had become a factory of transformation. Every hour, 300 volunteers entered the void chambers. Every hour, only half emerged. The hallways were filled with the sound of crying, families saying goodbye, medics carrying away those who didn't survive, and those who did survive were no longer the same. Captain Sarah Chen stood in the training bay watching the new Void Warriors. A young Krellan soldier practiced phasing through solid walls. A Sorfite engineer learned to see in multiple dimensions at once. A human pilot discovered she could feel the Devourers across the void itself. "They're learning fast," Lieutenant Cole said beside her. "Faster than we did." "They have to," Sarah replied. "We had 30 years to learn. They have 30 hours." Commander Zara entered the bay. Her face was exhausted. "The 10th group just finished. We now have 4,000 Void Warriors. But the cost," she didn't finish. They all knew the cost. 2,000 volunteers had entered the void and never came back. 2,000 families destroyed. 2,000 names added to the growing memorial wall. "Is it worth it?" Zara asked quietly. "All this death, all this pain. Is saving Earth worth destroying so many lives?" Sarah turned to face her. "You want the truth?" "I don't know. I stopped knowing what's worth what a long time ago. All I know is that if we don't fight, everyone dies. At least this way, some survive." An alarm interrupted them. A technician ran forward. "Captain, long-range sensors show something new. The Void Eater. It's doing something!" They rushed to the command center. On the main screen, the massive creature had stopped moving. Its mouth eye was opening wider than before, and from inside it something was emerging. Not ships, not weapons, memories. "What am I seeing?" Ambassador Vorin asked. He had stayed at the station coordinating the evacuation of nearby colonies. Sarah's face went pale. "It's showing us what it's done before." The screen filled with images, not video, not recordings. These were memories taken from the Void Eater itself, memories of worlds it had consumed, civilizations it had destroyed. They saw a planet of crystal cities, beautiful, advanced. The Void Eater arrived, and in one day, the cities were dust. They saw a species of energy beings, living in pure thought. The Void Eater consumed their thoughts and left nothing but silence. They saw a galaxy full of life, a million worlds singing together. The Void Eater passed through and the singing stopped forever. "It's trying to scare us," Cole said, "trying to make us give up." "It's working," Vorin whispered. He was shaking. Many council members were. "How do we fight something that's destroyed thousands of civilizations?" Sarah grabbed his shoulder. "The same way we've fought it for 30 years. One battle at a time, one sacrifice at a time." She activated the station-wide communication. "All Void Warriors, report to your combat groups. All remaining volunteers, prepare for accelerated training. Earth needs us in 38 hours. We won't let her down." Dr. Mellon appeared on screen from the medical bay. "Captain Chen, we're getting reports. Some of the new Void Warriors are experiencing problems." "What kind of problems?" Sarah asked. "Memory loss, personality changes. 3 of them don't remember their families. 5 more are speaking in languages that don't exist." Sarah's jaw tightened. "Can you help them?" "I don't know," Mellon admitted. "This isn't medicine anymore. This is something else, something I don't understand." "Do your best," Sarah said. "That's all any of us can do." She closed the channel and turned to Cole. "Take the first 1,000 warriors. Form attack groups. We're going to test them against the Devourer outer fleet." "Now?" Cole asked. "They've only had a few hours of training." "We don't have time for more," Sarah said. "They learn in battle or they die in battle. Either way, we'll know if this is working." 30 minutes later, the first mixed fleet launched. Human ships flew alongside Vaxian cruisers with void-touched crews. Krellan fighters moved with unnatural grace, their pilots phasing through space itself. They approached the Devourer outer fleet. "Remember your training." Cole's voice came through all channels. "These ships exist in multiple dimensions. Your old weapons won't work. You need to phase with them, match their frequency. Then strike." The first Void Warrior fired, a Sorfite gunner. His weapon channeled void energy through his own transformed body. The beam hit a Devourer ship and the ship screamed, a sound that made everyone's teeth hurt. Then the ship exploded, real destruction. "Actual damage. It worked," someone shouted. "We can hurt them." The battle erupted across the void. For the first time in 30 years of fighting, the Devourers were taking real losses. Void Warriors phased through enemy hulls and destroyed them from inside. Weapons powered by transformed beings tore through dark armor, but the Devourers fought back. A beam of anti-light struck a Vaxian cruiser. The ship existed one moment and didn't exist the next. 40 Void Warriors gone in an instant. More beams. More ships vanishing. Fall back! Cole ordered. Defensive formation. But the new warriors didn't know defensive formations well enough. They were too new, too untrained. They scattered instead of regrouping. The Devourers punished their mistakes. By the time the fleet retreated to Station 7, they had lost 300 ships. 800 Void Warriors dead. The survivors were shaken, traumatized, but they had destroyed 50 Devourer vessels. 50 enemy ships that would never threaten anyone again. Sarah met Cole in the docking bay. His face was covered in soot and blood. "We're not ready," he said. "We need more time." "We don't have more time," Sarah replied. "Earth has 33 hours. We go with what we have." A young human warrior approached them. Her name was Private Lisa Tanner. She was 19 years old. Her eyes glowed with void light, but tears ran down her face. "Captain," she said, "my squad leader didn't make it. Neither did my best friend. We trained together, went into the void together. And now I can't even remember her face clearly. The void is taking my memories." Sarah put her hand on the girl's shoulder. "I know, it happens to all of us. The void takes things, memories, feelings, pieces of who we were. But it gives us something too." "What?" Lisa asked. "What does it give us that's worth forgetting the people we love?" "The power to save the people we still remember," Sarah said quietly. Lisa wiped her tears. "Is that enough? Is that really enough?" Sarah didn't answer. She couldn't, because she didn't know if it was enough. She didn't know if anything was enough. Another alarm. This one was different, louder, more urgent. "What now?" Zara demanded. The main screen showed something impossible. The Void Eater had opened its mouth completely, and inside, they could see something that made even Sarah Chen take a step back. It was a gateway. A massive tear in reality leading to somewhere else. Somewhere darker, somewhere older, and through that gateway more Void Eaters were coming. "No," Sarah whispered. "That's not possible. We thought there was only one left." "How many?" Vorin asked. His voice was shaking. The technician counted. 3, no, 4, no. I'm reading 6 separate signatures. 6 Void Eaters, all heading toward Earth. The command center fell silent. 6 of those monsters. 6 planet-eating, reality-consuming nightmares, all converging on humanity's homeworld. Zara turned to Sarah. "Can we stop 6 of them?" "With our 4,000 warriors and 30 hours of training." Sarah looked at the screen, at the impossible odds, at the nightmare coming for her home. Then she looked at the Void Warriors filling the station. Young soldiers with glowing eyes, old engineers who had given up everything, people from a dozen species who barely knew how to use their new powers. "Honestly," Sarah said, "no, we can't stop 6 Void Eaters. We couldn't stop one with these numbers. Then what do we do?" Vorin asked desperately. Sarah turned to face them all. "We send a message to every corner of the galaxy, every species, every fleet. We tell them that if Earth falls, they're next. We tell them that humanity fought alone for 30 years, but we can't fight alone anymore." She pointed at the screen. "And we tell them that if they want to survive, they need to send us everyone they can spare. Every volunteer, every soldier, every person willing to change. There's no time," Zara protested. "Even if they all agreed, they couldn't get here before. Then we buy time," Sarah interrupted. "We take our 4,000 warriors and we attack. Now, we hurt those things. Slow them down. Make them focus on us instead of Earth." Cole stepped forward. "That's suicide." "We'll all die." "Probably," Sarah agreed. "But we'll die buying hours, maybe days. Enough time for reinforcements to arrive. Enough time to train more warriors." She walked to the window. In the distance, she could see Earth. The blue jewels spinning in the dark. "I was born on that planet," she said softly. "I learned to walk there, to love there, to dream there. And when the void took me, the memory of Earth is what kept me sane." She turned back to them. "I won't let those things have it. Even if it costs everything. Even if it costs everyone." Lisa Tanner stepped forward. "I'll go with you, Captain." Then another warrior. And another. Soon, all 4,000 were volunteering. Sarah smiled. It was sad and proud at the same time. "Good. Tell your families you love them. Make your peace. We launch in 1 hour." As the warriors left to prepare, Vorin approached Sarah. "You know this isn't enough. Even if you slow them down, even if reinforcements come, The mathematics are impossible. I know, Sarah said. Then why fight? He asked. Sarah looked at him with those void-touched eyes. Because someone has to. Because if no one stands up, then the darkness wins without a battle. And I'd rather die fighting than live knowing I gave up. She walked toward her ship. Besides, she called back, humans are stubborn. Maybe we'll surprise you. Maybe we'll survive the impossible one more time. And if you don't? Vorin asked. Sarah stopped at the doorway. Then tell Earth we tried. Tell them humanity came home one last time. She disappeared into the darkness. Outside, 6 Void Eaters moved through space. Hungry, ancient, unstoppable. And between them and Earth, 4,000 warriors prepared to make their final stand. The choice that changed everything. The massive doors of the Devourer mothership opened slowly. Captain Sarah Chen and her mixed crew of humans and aliens stood at the entrance. Their weapons were ready, but their hearts were not prepared for what they would see. Inside, there was no army, no weapons, just a single enormous chamber filled with soft blue light. This is wrong, whispered Kral, the Vaxian warrior beside Sarah. His forearms trembled. Where are the soldiers? Where is the enemy? Sarah raised her hand. Wait, something is here. A voice filled the chamber. It was old, ancient. It came from everywhere and nowhere. You have done well, children of Earth. The crew froze. The voice continued. For 10,000 cycles we have watched. We have tested. Species rise and species fall. But you are different. Suddenly, images appeared in the air around them. They saw the Devourers attacking planets. They saw civilizations falling. But then they saw the truth. Every attack was a test. Every battle was a lesson. The Devourers were not destroyers. They were teachers. No, Sarah whispered. All those people who died, all that suffering, was necessary. The voice said without emotion. Beyond your galaxy lies the true void, a place where ancient powers live. Powers that would destroy weak species in moments. We prepare you. We make you strong. An alien pilot named Zek stepped forward. His face showed anger. You killed billions. My family, my world. Yes, the voice replied. And now your species is strong enough to survive what comes next. The weak would have died anyway. We saved you through fire. Images appeared again. This time they showed something beyond imagination. Galaxies upon galaxies. Beings of pure energy. Ships the size of stars. Civilizations millions of years old. The true void was real. Sarah's mind raced. Why humans? Why did you choose us first? The chamber grew brighter. A figure appeared. It looked almost human, but its eyes held the light of dead stars. Humans never quit. It said simply, when the void took you, other species thought you were dead. They divided your colonies. They forgot you. But you did not die. You fought, alone, in the dark. For 30 years, the figure walked closer. Other species have weapons, technology, ancient knowledge. But humans have something rare, something precious. What? Sarah asked. Stubborn hope. The crew stood in silence. Around them the chamber began to change. Doors appeared, thousands of them. Each door showed a different future. Behind one door they saw their galaxy safe and peaceful. Humans and aliens living together. But they stayed small, limited, safe but never growing. Behind another door they saw their fleet entering the true void. Adventures beyond imagination. Dangers beyond counting. Meeting species that made them look like children. But also growing, learning, becoming something greater. Choose, the voice commanded. Return to your galaxy and live in peace. We will leave you alone. No more tests. No more pain. Or, Sarah asked, or step through. Join the ancient races. Face true challenges. Many of you will die, but your species will become eternal. Kral touched Sarah's shoulder with one of his forearms. What do we do, Captain? Sarah looked at her crew. Humans who had suffered in the void. Aliens who had lost everything to the Devourers. All of them had changed. All of them had scars, but in their eyes she saw something else. Curiosity, courage, that same stubborn hope. Sarah turned to the figure. If we go back, will our people be safe? Yes, forever. And if we go forward, nothing is certain, except that you will matter. Your choices will shape the future of the true void itself. Sarah took a deep breath. She thought about Earth, about the billions who died, about the price they paid. Then she thought about why humans survived. Not because they were the strongest, not because they had the best weapons, but because they never stopped moving forward. She looked at her crew one last time. I'm not ordering anyone. This is your choice. One by one, they stepped forward. Human, Vaxian, Krellin, Sorfite. Every species that had fought together, they all chose the same door. The figure smiled. Good. The true void needs hope. It needs fighters. It needs humans. Sarah turned back one last time. Will we see our home again? Perhaps. If you survive, if you grow strong, humans always come back. That is your nature. The crew stepped through the door together. Back in the galaxy, at an old station near Earth, a young girl watched the stars. Her grandfather sat beside her. Will they return, Grandpa? She asked. The old soldier smiled. His eyes reflected the same starlight the void travelers now carried. Sweetheart, he said softly. Humans always come back. Always. The end.